Hey guys, Sandy here, and today I am using my Secret Not Secret Kit Club Auburn Lane kit to complete a double page spread. I just added this basil cardstock, so let's see what I can do. Okay, so I picked this basil cardstock based on the dark leaves and some of these floral papers from the Auburn Lane collection. And when you flip it over, it doesn't exactly match that green on the B side. But what is awesome is that there's multiple greens in here, so you can pull a bunch of different ones. So I decided to treat this as a 12 by 24 canvas and just work with it as one huge layout and cut it apart at the end. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I work on them separately. It's just a matter of how I'm feeling that day, and this day I was feeling like I wanted it to be one big thing. So here I am just putting another big block of paper down, and this is a cut apart sheet, and I know it probably makes some people cringe when you use a B-side of a cut apart sheet, but I have another cut apart sheet from this collection, so I am completely okay with cutting it up. And even if I didn't have another cut apart sheet, I wanted that pink color. I like it, so it works. Now what I'm going to do, which is something I do many times when I have a 2-page spread, is to have my photos go directly across the page. Now this time I did not have all of my photos in one orientation, so what I decided to do was use this vertical photo over here at the left as the leader, so it kind of brings your eye there first, and then hopefully you're moving across the page. And I decided to go with a really big title to really reinforce the fact that this is a 2-page layout and that you should start at the left and go to the right, because sometimes you just have to do those really basic things to get people to look at your layout in the way you want them to look at it. I don't know. Now, these stickers have the same floral print on them as the paper that I used in the background here. And that's exciting to me because I really like it. It is a thicker letter, which means the adhesive on the back is junk. So I do add adhesive to them. And I'm not sure if I do that now or later. I honestly don't remember. Okay, so now these patio party thickers, which is where I got that word together, and that little leaf piece at the end, those come from Patio Party, not part of the Auburn Lane collection, but they really do match great. And I'm going through my letter stickers now, trying to figure out what I want to use for at here, and I decided to go with these tile thickers. They're in a craft with a black text on them. At first I thought I was going to go gold, but I decided I really didn't want to bring gold into this layout. I feel like I'm doing an awful lot of gold lately. Maybe I'm not, but when it feels like you're doing a lot of something and you just want to do something a little bit different. So that's what I went with there. Now these 3 photos are not going to have a matte. These 4 photos actually. And I just wanted to make sure. Oh shoot, I thought I matted this one. Wow, I went matteless on all my photos. Go me. Okay, so back in the day when I had first started scrapbooking, I used to think that all my photos needed mattes. And I had a very specific way that things needed to be scrapbooked. I either used pattern paper as my base and cardstock as the mats, or I used cardstock as the base and pattern paper as the mats, or I used cardstock as base and cardstock as mats, but I never mixed pattern papers as bases and mats. Until one day I decided, you know what? I really think that these pattern papers would go well together. I need to mix these up. And I mixed them up, and ever since then I feel like I just like to mix and match patterns. And I especially like to mix and match patterns when they're from different collections, because that really just makes me like stupid happy when I can take a collection and mix it with other things. I'm not usually a person who buys full collections unless it's like a Disney collection. This is the first time I've ever had so much of one collection, this Auburn Lane, and that's been pretty exciting, especially because I have these Muir Woods photos, and I really feel like this collection really lends itself to be a collection to scrapbook like pictures of the woods. I know it does feel very fallish, but I also feel like it has this springy feel to it as well. I don't know. At least it makes sense in my head. So I'm adding these little bits from the die cut pack, and it has like this coppery color to it, which is good that I didn't use the in the gold, because I don't like that matte gold that I have in those letter stickers with the copper. I don't like the mix. Not that I'm opposed to mixing metallics, I do that. But just with this one, I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling the mixing the matte gold with the copper. So I'm just playing around with every little bits of this collection, and I'm finding puffy stickers that I want to use, and I use that one wooden frame, and I'm going to layer that coppery piece behind it. Now don't worry, I am going to fill in that wooden frame with something. I don't like being able to see the photo and the two papers under it. It's just not my thing. And at first I thought I was going to create this little banner bit over here with these little teeny banners. And then I decided, no, these banners are way, way, way undersized for what I was thinking about. So I decided to go on to the sticker sheets and find banners that were a little bit larger. I guess size matters when it comes to banners. So there are a lot of little squashes and stuff on that sticker sheet, and I don't know if I will ever use the squashes. I might put it in a layer or a cluster or something, but at this moment I really can't think of something that I would use those squashes for, or gourds, or whatever they are, because I gotta tell you, I find them to be super random. I guess if you were doing a Thanksgiving page, I could see how you would do them on those. But since I'm not using this as a fall collection or a Thanksgiving collection, I'm using it as woods. The gourds just don't really go with the woods. At least I don't think it does. Who knows? You might have something in your mind that says gourds equals woods, and if you do, awesome. Please tell me how you get there, because I don't know, but I just don't know. So here I am backing that wood frame just because it needed something. Now, there are times where I just like to use frames and don't put anything behind them, but then there are times like this one where it needed something behind it because there was a lot of intersecting paper and photo underneath of it, and it just didn't look good to me. Now, something I did, that die cut that says beautiful that I have popped up on the foam there, it nestles right in there with that little frame, little indent, and that makes me happy. I love being able to fit and nestle things together. I did a layout once where it was just a ton of stickers and bits and bobs and everything, and I just kept nestling and nestling and nestling, and it ended up being this huge just row of stuff. And I think that is what kind of keeps me from way over embellishing, because sometimes I do over embellish. But is it really over embellishing when you make it and you like it? That's the question. I don't think it's going to be over embellished, but probably embellished more than I usually do. But, over embellished is the term that is known pretty widely in scrapbooking circles, so that's what you end up using. I don't know. I was making a point and then I just digressed into something else, and I honestly have no idea what my point was to begin with. Sorry about that, guys. It might come back to me. It might not. I'm not exactly sure. Now, I was looking at these rub-ons, and I really like those rub-ons. They're so pretty, and I haven't used them yet, so I need to pull them out and use them on a page. I was thinking about filling this frame with the sequins, but then I thought that is going to be a whole lot of sparkle and bling up there, and there's no really reason for it. Not that I need a reason to do stuff on my pages, but in my mind, I couldn't come up with a reason. Like, I couldn't say, I'm just going to do this random thing right here. Because sometimes I do that. Sometimes I'm like, I'm just going to do this random thing. But the sparkles on there just didn't work for me. Even though I do have a newfound love of sequins, so something is going to be happening with those sequins. I just have to figure out what. Now I'm going through my Tim Holtz words here, and I find them to be really, really useful across all kinds of pages. Whether it's just photos of your family, or photos of some kids, or photos of a water park, or Disney, or, woods. I find these phrases to be super useful, and I've used a lot of them recently. Now, I wanted to add some enamel dots, so I went through my enamel dot collection and found these Echo Park ones, and they're from an Easter line, but I think that the pink really works with it, so I just went for it. And I am doing the clustering thing where you put 3 dots around in your little cluster, and I'm happy with it. This one, just put the enamel dot down, Sandy. Okay. I gotta say, sometimes when I'm watching myself, I'm like, what are you doing? Just put it down, stick it down. Because, I think of myself as a pretty, stick it down kind of scrapbooker. And then when I look at my videos, I'm just like, put the dang thing down. It looked great in each of the 15 different places where you tried to stick it. So, anyway, frustrating myself a little bit here. Now, I backed this frame right here with a little bit of an Echo Park paper, and it is a whitewashed wood grain, and that wood grain, I think it goes great with this collection too, even though that paper is from a summer collection because it has all those sunglasses and bright colors on the other side. So that is where I am going to be laying down some journaling. I'm thinking about adding a little bit more over here by these photos, just to give it a little bit more fun and interest, but I decided not to. I don't think it really needs it. And now I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this frame, because it is a big empty frame with pink paper underneath, which I love, but I got to figure out what I'm doing here. At first I thought, I'm just going to put some flowers in the center of it, like I'm going to truly frame it. And then I decided, no, I don't like that at all. What I'm going to do is embellish the frame a little bit more and leave the inside just that pattern paper there. And I'm cool with that. Like, what? Who says something has to be in your frame? Right? I mean, people decorate with frames in their houses, just empty frames on a wall. So why can't you just have empty frames on your scrapbook page? I think you can do it. I think you can do whatever the heck you want with those frames. And I want to layer some florals over it, so that's what I'm going to do. Now, these florals are awesome in the die cut pack, and it's just a die cut pack with florals, and it has some vellum ones on there too, and there's some black and white ones, and it's just really, really pretty florals. And they're easy to cut the leaves off if you have too many leaves. Like that pink one I just cut off, he didn't need leaves on both sides for my purposes, so they came right on off. And I really, really like how they just look like they look good together. And here I am thinking about using these enamel dots in the center of the flowers, because that is something I really enjoy doing, is putting enamel dots in the center of the flowers. But it was just too much big, bold blackness there, and especially when I only have touches of black, like the beautiful and the text on the Tim Holtz words, and then my journaling down here is going to be done with a black pen. So that big shiny black enamel dot was just too much for it. So I decided to go with it and just leave it be. And I still haven't cut apart the layout, but that will happen. I promise. It has to happen to go into my album. So now I'm just showing it to you, and then I'm going to cut it apart. So there everything is. Quick little peek. Just pull out my Fiskars trimmer and slide that sucker right in there. And I'm just lining up, and whoop, there it is. It's done. And I'm good with it. Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? Oh, I took the August date and added it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I will see you next time.